Hello everyone, welcome back to, well, not welcome back, welcome to a hop that has been started by Jackie from JQ Crafty. She came up with a really fun idea. It's called the Groundhog Hop, and the point is starting this year, we're going to scrap lift ourselves. So each of us are scrap lifting our own previous layouts that we've done. And then next year, we're going to scrap lift it again and again and again and again, as long as we do it. So that's kind of the point of it. I am filming this, 10:30 the day before it's due. So nothing like last minute. And I am not sure what I want to do. So I messaged a couple friends and I'm like, I came up with one idea that I could scrap lift, the one layout that hopefully has popped up of Barrett with the sunburst that I feel like could definitely work. And then lovely Janet from Galaxy Girl Creations messaged another layout that I did of Jackson with a 3-photo option with some mixed media, and she's like, you could do like a monochrome layout or something like that. And I was inspired by that too. So I decided to go and look at my photos first. And there is something about this series of photos I'm just into. They're so fun. They're from this past summer, and it's Nora and Barrett, and they have a decent relationship, but it's not necessarily the best. Like, they don't want to be around each other all the time. So I like to document them when they're playing together, because it doesn't always happen. And I feel like I could trim these down to either do just 2, because I don't have to do both of, like, all 3 of them. I probably would do maybe these 2, because that's a better one of Barrett, that's a better one of Nora, and this one they're just both happen to be looking. Or I could do the Mohawk layout with the series of 3 photos. The other option that I'm like, I don't know, is if I'm going to use kind of a more subdued collection. So I pulled out this Rosie Studios Salt in Sunsets collection, which has that really subdued collection, which works because Barrett has this little strip of orange in his swim trunks and his little hat. So I feel like I could maybe make that work, or I can go wild and crazy with colors and do something like this Rosie Studios collection, which is the Just Saying collection, or some Echo Park, which of course is nice and bright as well. And I honestly don't think you can go wrong with any of them, but that's kind of where I'm at. I have to make some decisions and figure out where I'm going to go with it and which layout I'm going to use. But I definitely wanted to show you where I was starting, so when you see the finished layout, you'll see things don't always just come together the way magically through YouTube. Like, sometimes you see it. All right, let me get you on fast forward. Let me make some decisions. Let's get going. My final decision is going to go ahead and be using that sunburst layout of Barrett there as my inspiration to scrap lift myself. Now, I am making this kind of just, however, I really just wanted it to kind of have the idea of it. I needed a bit of a template for cutting my pattern papers, because I do remember when I was doing that original layout, I freehanded it in the fact that I just started cutting, and yeah, it was a big old disaster. So I did not do that this time. I used a piece of scrap paper. You saw me draw not a great circle, but it got the idea across, and then when I cut it, it worked fine. And now I'm going to go through the papers and just cut. I do want to talk about me cutting through this paper though, because this is the first time I ever touched this collection. I actually thought it was a summer collection, not realizing there's bits of birthday in it as well, which is really cool. So I'm going to hold on to this one because there's 2 boys that just had birthdays, and my daughter has one in March and John has one in February. So there are lots of birthdays in the near future, or that have just happened, and I like this collection. I want to kind of work with that birthday theme too. So I need to be a little mindful. And in being mindful, I have to look at these patterns, and before I start cutting into them and to get that little chunk of pattern paper I'm trying to get, obviously it's not very much, that if it would be a good border option that I gut it and then cut into it. So I did make those decisions on the few pattern papers like this one And that way I didn't waste pattern paper that could have made a really great border for something down the road. Just be intentional about what you're doing. I've done it a lot of times where I just started cutting. I'm like, oh my goodness, this would have made a cool border, and I didn't do that. And it's totally fine. You just end up using the other pattern paper, maybe do like a 2/3, 1/3, you know what I mean? Like just do a different type of design. But if something like using borders is a big thing to you, like it is for me, it's something I have to intentionally think about. So, all right, we have my sunburst done. I kind of messed up the edges so it's rough like in the original layout. I layered my photos down, fun foam at the bottom so it matches up with the crinkling paper that lifts the top of the photo up. So that's what that fun foam was for there. My title is going to say, everything is fine when there's sunshine. I did try to actually spell out the word there is. However, I didn't have the right letters and placement for where to put it. I had to abbreviate it, although I didn't then abbreviate everything. So it looks a little weird. I know it doesn't look correct when you're reading it fully, especially if you're like a big grammar person, but I swear I did try. I just couldn't make it work. This was another example of me picking a title from my titles board on Pinterest. I just have a group setting within that says summer, and I just kind of scrolled through until something made sense. These photos, the kids were just so happy to be outside. And I know it was in June, and in June here in BC, we had a massive heat wave. We were part of that heat dome. I don't know if you knew anything about that, but we hit record temperatures, and it was not fun. I don't think this was during the heat wave because I didn't let the kids go outside. It was too hot, but it was a warm June, so they loved being outside. They loved playing. Barrett had that super cute hat, and I just loved it. They're so cute. And I believe Jackson was either off playing with the neighbors or, I mean, he was off doing something. There were times that he just wanted to hang out inside by himself, so I had the other two with me outside while Jackson was hanging out inside, you know, kind of having some of that independence that they start to get. And I just let that go. And then to highlight these photos and to kind of match it with the cute original layout that I'm trying to scrap lift, just added some florals and a little bit of the ephemera and chipboard stickers from this collection and called it good. So I'm really happy with this layout. Super fun hop. I'm excited for next year to see what I come up with and if I change the orientation or anything, but it was a really fun hop and I hope you enjoyed. There will be links down below for everyone else playing along, and maybe think about giving this idea a try yourself and see what it looks like over the years. It's going to be fun as the years progress on how it turns out. So thanks for watching. I think that's it. I'm just adding in these final little pieces. I really wanted to get that last little leaf there on this page. I was determined to make it work some way, somehow. And then I got a camera used up as well, which is always awesome. Here's a look at my finished layout. I'll see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.